Hi Stampers, it's Becky Roberts with Inking Idaho. Today I'm going to show you a fun way to use the Big Thanks die and stamp set from Concord and Ninth by using the positive and the negative of the die on a fun technique using stripes instead of patterned paper. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is do this piece right here. So I trimmed this down to 4 by 5 1/4 so that I could mount it on a cardstock. So that's what I have here. Now what I've done is I have taken double-sided sticky tape and I have covered the whole thing. Now you can use this if you have larger tape, or you can use just regular skinny tape on the strips. Whatever you have, anything that's a double-sided adhesive will work. So like I said, I've gone ahead and put all the strips here. So now I'm just going to take some scissors that are the Teflon so that they don't stick, and I'm just going to trim off everything that's hanging over so that we can get started. All right, I have cut strips of cardstock into 1/4-inch strips. These are the brand new Concord and Ninth colors. So we're going to use Poppy, Sorbet, and Grapefruit, and then we're going to use Aqua Sky, Oceanside, and Peacock for this project. So we're going to take and peel off all of this first, a little bit at a time, but we're going to stick it down more in order to get it to come up. There we go. All right, so it doesn't matter what colors you start with or what order you do them in. We're just going to start sticking them on here. And I'm going to cut off this first few because it's little, and then I'm just going to use it again. Going into the next color, line this one right up, and then into this one. And I'm going to cut these off because we're going to use these again. And then I'm going to peel off the next little piece. That might be the hardest part of the whole project. All right, and then we're going to start in with the blues. And again, I'm going to cut these off just so that we can reuse them. Peel this next phase off. All right, even though this is tiny, you're definitely going to want to go clear to the edge because we are going to use this panel for our second card. So even though that's tiny, we still need to get it covered. All right, then I just turn it over and make sure I have it all nice and secure. I'm going to take my scissors again, and I'm going to cut everything that's hanging over. Now we have a beautiful piece of patterned paper to work with. Okay, and then I'm going to take the die from the Big Thanks die set, and I'm going to position it on here fairly straight because remember that we're going to use the negative for card. So we want it to be pretty straight. And then I am going to step over to my die cut machine and cut this out. All right, die cut the die, and now we're just going to very gently remove this from the piece. And you are cutting through several layers, so be really careful that you get it all out and that nothing rips. And save these little negative pieces. We're going to use those. All right, so now we have our thanks in the positive and the negative piece. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the negative piece and we're going to put it on the cardstock base. So I have a 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 piece of cardstock. I'm going to fold this in half. And we're going to put this on with some foam squares. I have a little bit of adhesive still on there, so I'm just going to come back and clean it up a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to take the cardstock and put this on top of it, and we're going to position it exactly where we want it. And make sure that nothing moves. And I'm going to put just a little piece of washi tape on here, right on the cardstock, not to my mat because I'm going to move it over to my MISTI in just a minute, but right so that the cardstock doesn't slide on there. And then we're going to open up the stamp set and we're going to place these letters on here. So we're going to center the T. And the H, and we're going to stamp right through this space. The A is going to have to wait because it slightly overlaps on the photopolymer, and we want it to be straight, so we're not going to do it all at one time. So we're going to get all of them on here except for the A, and then we're going to come back and do that one. All right, and then I'm going to pick it up, which is why I taped it down so it won't move. And I'm going to put it in my MISTI. And then I'm going to take just a minute and position all of these so that they are straight. And then we'll close the lid. And I kicked out the S. It was just touching the other one, and probably if I wasn't on camera, I would go ahead and do it, but I'm just going to take it the safe bet and just do the ones that fit. Get those on there. The benefit of using a MISTI is that you can do it a couple of times without anything moving. Perfect. All right, let's clean these off real quick. And I'm going to set these aside. Make sure it's all dry. And I'm going to position the S. Perfect. Okay, we'll take it out of here and we'll set all this aside. Remove the tape. And we are going to put foam squares all over this thing so that we can pop it up. It looks a little bit framed. So on all of the little pieces that are loose, all of these insides, they all have to have a little bit of adhesive on them or else they flop down on the inside. So I'm using large and small foam squares, and I'm just going to put them on all those little pieces. Make sure nothing shows. I think he needs one still. And I kind of hold it up to see what's going to flip down and what needs to be supported. And I think that that pretty much does it. So now we're just going to remove all the backings off of these. Okay, I think I have them now. And now we're just going to put this on our card. Making sure all of those little pieces are stuck down. All right, and it's straight, woohoo! Okay, so for this one, I took the words that are in the stamp set, and I took the So Much and I embossed it on a little strip of black cardstock. And that's what we're going to put on this card as soon as I find it. And I think for this one, I'm just going to put it right there. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue and just stick it down. And then we have one of our 2 cards completely finished. If you wanted to go back and add some little jewels or some little fun, you certainly could, but this is what we're going to do today with this one. Okay, now we're going to take the rest of the pieces for our cards. For our second card, we're going to be layering these 2 onto a card base. Again, just 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to start with this one right here. And we're going to put the thanks on here. So again, we're going to pop it up, give it a little dimension. Okay, and then we're just going to take this piece and we're going to center it there we go. We're going to take some glue and we're going to put it on here. Layer it onto this one. Okay, and put it on the back one. Hopefully we're pretty straight. There we go. And again, for this one, I took the words A big, and then thanks, and then from all of us. And I embossed them on a black strip with white embossing powder. And we are just going to put these on here. Line that one up right about there. I think so. And maybe I'll come out just a bit. Yeah, I think I will. And on this one, I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. Make sure that's straight. Okay, so there we have our second finished card. So we have the positive and the negative using the big thanks from Concord and 9th. Thanks, you guys. For more creative inspiration, you can visit me at www.inkinidaho.com. Have a great day.